This is an audio-only episode, Valentine's Day. It calls to mind visions of romance and the hope of unquenchable love between soulmates. Imagine then you are married to the person of your dreams. Imagine it is Valentine's Day. And then imagine you are saying goodbye to them just as you have throughout your marriage, except that this occasion is different. On this day, instead of knowing with reasonable certainty that your beloved will return home, you are reasonably certain this is the last time you will lay eyes on one another in this life. So it was with Blessed Vicente Vilar David, and the story behind this is why he is a saint who really should be better known. Born in 1889 in the small town of Manises in the province of Valencia, Spain, he had remarkable intelligence, excelling in physics, chemistry, and calculus. He wanted to use this knowledge to become a civil engineer, building airports, bridges, and roads. His father, however, prevailed on him to join the family ceramics business, and so he became an industrial engineer instead. There is no record of his feelings over this change in his plans, but we can imagine how difficult it must have been to give up his dreams. When his father died, Vicente and his three brothers began to run the business, and because of his talents, they made him technical director. But he did so much more. Vicente strove to improve the quality of life for his workers by implementing, among other improvements, sick pay and a pension for them, and they loved him for treating them as his equals. He even founded a school of ceramics in Manises to help train others for the trade and to help Spain compete internationally in the ceramics business. As a result of these and other accomplishments, he was appointed deputy mayor and got to help inaugurate Valencia's airport. But Vicente's greatest accomplishment was helping others to know Jesus. He would, for instance, arrange for priests to say Mass at the plant so that his men could have more regular reception of the Eucharist. He was also a children's catechist and served the poor, especially during Spain's terrible civil war, which pitted the Republicans, that is, communists, against the nationalists. Indeed, in all the stories about him, the one thing that is most often noted was how committed he was to spreading the gospel through his good works. When the communists came to power in 1931, they began persecuting the church and murdering sisters, monks, and clergy. So Blessed Vicente risked his life by hiding nuns and priests in his home so they could continue ministering to the people. Since Valencia was on the communist side during the Civil War, Vicente's unabashed Catholicism made him a marked man. This was despite the fact that he gave assistance wherever it was needed, whether to nationalists or the communist Republicans. He even helped freezing Republican soldiers get warm by giving them blankets and shoes from his house. Nonetheless, the communists made him resign as teacher and secretary at the ceramics school he had founded. Next, they seized his factory, after which he became just an ordinary worker there. Then they arrested him, although his only crime was being a good Christian. Indeed, that was the problem. In a regime where persecution of the church was supposed to cow people into rejecting their holy faith, Blessed Vicente was bold about supporting it. And so it was that on Valentine's Day, 1937, a tribunal summoned him and ordered him to stop his activities on behalf of Christ and his church. He refused. They threatened him with the loss of everything dear to him. He stood his ground. They threatened him again, and this time more harshly. He said he would rather die than renounce his faith. Fine, they told him, have it your way. Partly because of his standing in the community, however, they allowed him to return home to see his wife of just over 14 years, Isabel once more. As the lovers kissed and said goodbye that Valentine's night, Isabel called after him, "See you tomorrow?" To which he replied, "Tomorrow or in heaven." These were not his last words, however. His last words, rather, were spoken to his captors after they had dragged him a few blocks away and before they shot him dead. "I forgive you." It is said Isabel heard the gunshot. Did she know that shot had taken her husband's life? How could she not have? For 3 days after his death, this holy businessman's bereaved employees went on strike. When the authorities ordered them to get back to work, the men told them where to go. "You haven't just taken our boss," they said. "You have taken our father." Blessed Vicente Vilar David's remains rest in his parish church of St. Juan Baptista. We are often tempted to push God into the background because we're afraid of standing out in a crowd, afraid of how it will look. And yet, what opportunities to bring people to him could be had if only we would be bold. We ask our Heavenly Father to help us follow Blessed Vicente's example by doing all for him, by putting him first and our own prideful sense of self last. What do you think? What lessons do you take from Blessed Vicente Vilar David's life? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for listening. Please do like, subscribe, and share. And also, please help to support this channel by becoming a partner with me at Patreon. See the link below. You may also want to check out my books on the saints, for which you should also see below.